That yard looks abandoned. Code enforcement is already coming.
I can barely see the path, much less cut it.
He can barely see and you still reported him? Bad eyesight does not clean a neighborhood. No, but neighbors should notice suffering first.
A home can look abandoned from the street, but that does not mean the person inside has given up. Sometimes they are still there, still trying, just no longer strong enough to keep the outside looking like the life they are fighting to hold on to. Before we step back into this story, tell me where it is reaching you from today. It always reminds me that one quiet act of kindness can travel much farther than the street where it happened. The yard looked half rescued when the police officer arrived. One side of the walkway was open, the porch steps were clear, and the little blue roof near the mailbox had finally come out from under the weeds. But the other side was still rough enough for the neighbor to point at it like proof. He told the officer Walter had ignored the property for weeks and made the whole street look abandoned. The officer looked serious at first. Then he noticed the taped reading glasses on the porch table, the cane leaning against the chair, and Walter standing behind the rail. His eyes narrowed, as if he was trying to recognize voices more than faces. I explained that Walter had not ignored the yard. He was losing his sight, using his money for treatment and rides, and afraid of falling on the overgrown path. The neighbor said none of that changed the rules. Walter looked toward the mailbox and whispered that Rose would be heartbroken if the children could not reach the books anymore. That was when I opened the little library door. Inside were a few damp books, a faded library card, and a stack of small notes sealed in a plastic bag. Walter asked me to read one because he could not see the writing. The first note said, "Mrs. Rose gave me my first chapter book. Now I read to my little sister." The second said, "This library made walking home feel safe." The third was newer. It said, "Mr. Walter, we miss the blue library. I hope you are okay." For a moment, nobody spoke. Even the neighbor looked down at the sidewalk. Walter sat slowly on the porch chair and covered his face. He said he thought everyone had forgotten Rose's library, and that losing the yard felt like losing her twice. The officer stopped writing. He looked at the neighbor and said this was not someone refusing responsibility. This was an old man losing his sight while trying to protect something that had quietly helped the whole street. He told Walter there would be no citation that day. Then he helped me carry bags of weeds to the curb. I finished cutting the grass, cleared the mailbox, trimmed the walkway, and cleaned the little library as carefully as I could. A neighbor brought dry